football or basketball or sports.
Disabled screen sharing.
What?
You disabled screen sharing. I want everyone to know that you disabled screen sharing.
I have not touched the screen sharing this whole time. I don't know.
I took a video of it, so you can't say that. It says if you click share screen, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Here, I did it right now. You can share it right now.
I can?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Brought to you by Big Cookie Entertainment.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Make Your Point, episode 7. I am Avin. Along with me today on this episode is our star flag football player, Jagger Liguori. And my varsity water polo goalie co-host, Jagger Roisman, as well. So thank you both for being here today. And there's not much news going on, not a lot of sports. We took a couple-week hiatus because not too many things going on. You know, the NFL draft was there, so we did a draft recap show. Last week, the NFL schedule came out. So there's been some stuff going on right now. The first thing I actually want to start off talking about is our hometown Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa signs a monster rookie deal for $30 million, 4 years with a fifth-year option. I believe it's fully guaranteed. Last week, Derek Brown, the DN, drafted by the Carolina Panthers at number 7 in the draft. His whole deal was fully guaranteed. I wonder if this the new CBA allows all rookie contracts to be fully guaranteed. So if you get $30 million right off the bat on your first rookie contract, I think that's very well done on Tua's part. He bought his mom a car the other day, so happy birthday to her. But Jagger, let me get your thoughts on Tua signing this huge deal for his.
Yeah, this is insane. And this is basically saying that we want Tua for as long as he'll play, basically, because the last quarterback the Dolphins drafted was Tannehill, and he signed a $13 million fully guaranteed rookie deal. Tua signed $17 million more than he did. So, yeah, I think they
really investing in a franchise player.
Yeah, they really believe in him.
Well, you know, I think this is just a sign that says, you know, we're taking the risk. We're going to have him work. We're going to have him sit a few weeks. We're going to bring him in healthy. We're going to have him start, and he's going to be great in the upcoming season. And I really do believe that. So, Zach, I know you said he's going to be that franchise guy, but how long do you think it's going to be until Tua actually gets into play? We play the Bengals around week 13 or something, so that Joe Burrow-Tua matchup is going to be something that people are going to be looking for. But do you think he's even going to play?
I have no idea. I mean, personally, I think if the Dolphins are going to put this much money into a player, I understand wanting to wait, but I still think that they should give him a chance now. And even if it's not entire games, I think that he needs to play at least one snap in every single game. And if you're sitting this player every single game that you took this huge risk on, why would you even take that risk? But I also do think that since he is a risky player, giving him a guaranteed contract and giving him a 4-year with a 5th-year option, I think that's taking something that's already risky and making it even more risky because he has been proven to be injury prone, and you don't want someone who's inexperienced and injury prone who has not proven himself yet being there for 5 years.
Well, you know, the training videos have come out. He seems happy. He seems well.
I'd be happy too.
Exactly. No, for sure. But I meant like with his body, like with how he's feeling. I think he's ready to get out there. He's been wanting to practice. He's spoken about that. He said, "I'm ready to get to work." So yeah, he's had his injuries, but I think moving forward, I wouldn't be surprised if a 5, maybe 7 weeks in the season Fitzpatrick starts and they kind of ease him in.
I think that they should do an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation where Mahomes sat the entire first season, learned everything, came back, won MVP, came back, won Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a similar thing with Tua. I wouldn't mind doing a similar thing to it since Fitzpatrick has a year left on his contract and he's probably one of the best mentor quarterbacks in the NFL today. So I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I kind of prefer that, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Another thing that I was kind of brought to my attention as this whole Tua thing is going on, how he signs his contract, gets drafted at 5. The Dolphins schedule came out last week. The whole NFL season schedule, every team came out last week. And the Dolphins have a pretty tricky schedule. I think they said it was about the third hardest schedule in football. I don't want Tua to go out there and have his rookie year go awful and everyone's gonna be like, we wasted our first round pick, our 5th pick in the draft on this guy. He failed for us. He's not doing good. And that's exactly what happened with Josh Rosen a couple years ago. Off his rookie year, didn't do good. Like these great quarterbacks, these experienced quarterbacks who were great in college, come to the NFL with that bad team and can't ultimately bring the team together. But I want to take a second and look at the NFL schedule as a whole, maybe make some predictions on a few teams. And I want to start off with our hometown Miami Dolphins. I have this whole graph here, every single NFL team. If you see the Dolphins right in the middle there, right here, I think we have a stretch of games that isn't extremely helpful to Tua's first rookie season. We have no Thursday night games, no Sunday night games, no Monday night games. We are on no primetime games, and I think the exposure that might come with that for Tua, that is not very helpful as well. But as you can see, let's kind of go through us three. Let's make some predictions on each game, and we'll kind of predict the record. So first off, the Dolphins play the Patriots away in Foxborough. What do we think about that?
Give me that W, baby. Give me that W. I like the Dolphins of this one. Yeah, I think the defense revamped enough, and if Jarrett Stidham starts, never had a NFL start in his life, I think he'll be scared, no matter where he's playing.
Zach, what do you think?
Can you repeat the question?
What do you think the Dolphins are going to win or lose against New England in Foxborough week 1?
I'm gonna say that they're gonna win. I'm not confident that they're gonna win, but I say that they have like a 65% chance of winning. The Dolphins, I know they have a great thing about being able to beat New England at home, and it's not that often that they win in Foxborough. It's not that often that any team wins in Foxborough, but I think that week 1, they no longer have their quarterback that they've had for forever, I think it's gonna come out. They're gonna come out this season really in a lot of ways as a different team. They've had, even last season, their defense was much stronger than their offense. Their offense was not great, and their defense was. So they really are, even just last year, a different team than they were a couple of years ago. I think this year, especially now without Tom Brady, they're going to be a significantly weaker team. Their preseason helps a little bit to kind of get your stuff together, but I think that it's going to be a team that is not really ready. And if the Dolphins can really play well week 1 and come out swinging, then I think that they have a strong chance at winning and starting the season off right. With that being said, I still think that the Patriots are a better organization, and it's a toss-up for me.
Personally, I think that the Patriots organization, Tom Brady's obviously not there. Gronkowski's not there. They've lost many coaches. They've lost many veteran players, Kyle Van Noy, other people who I can't think of right now. But I still believe going into Foxborough week 1, I can't see the Dolphins winning the game. As much as I want to pick the Dolphins, I just can't see it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jarrett Stidham goes off, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzpatrick goes off, because that's what he does randomly sometimes. The Dolphins were projected to be the worst team in the NFL, and he led us to 5 games last year. So on it, it's definitely a toss-up. If Tua plays again, I don't know, but I just can't see the Dolphins winning that one. Jagger, week 2, at home versus the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Who do you have there?
God, dude. This one's hard because I think that the Bills will win the division over the Dolphins. I think that they take this game at home and then they split with Buffalo later. And my reasoning behind it is we've heard, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, this new revamped offense. You're forgetting that the Dolphins revamped their entire defense. We have arguably the two best corners in the league and we drafted our third corner who can play his ass off. I'm guessing Xavier Howard will shadow Stephon Diggs and Byron Jones will stay on anyone else. And I think that our revamped front D-line is just good enough to get at Josh Allen and not let him move out of the pocket like he normally does. So I'm going to take the Dolphins for this one.
The Dolphins are going to be going 2-0.
2-0, yes. This isn't even me being a homer. I promise this isn't me being a homer.
I love that. And I wish I could say the same.
Can you repeat the question?
Before I say my pick, Zach, do you think that the Bills are going to win or lose week 2 at home in Miami?
Huh? I think the Bills are going to win. I think that they're coming off a strong season, and I think that, I'd say that if the Dolphins beat the Patriots, then they have a much higher chance of winning. With that momentum of they just beat the Patriots, they just won against New England in New England. That's a lot of momentum going into week 2, and I think that's huge. But if they lose, I think there's no chance that they beat the Bills. I think the Bills are a much better team, and they're coming off of a really strong year, and I think they're going to have just as strong a year this year. I think that it's, once again this year, the Bills have every reason to win the division. So I think they should be able to beat the Dolphins without much trouble, unless the Dolphins win in week 1 and have that momentum.
But before the schedules came out, my underdog pick to win the division was the Dolphins because I believe they're starting to build the team. After the draft, they're building the team. The Bills were obviously that front runner, but my underdog was
very cute.
Definitely the Miami Dolphins.
Very cute.
Week 2 in Miami.
The Dolphins are not winning the division, Adam.
I said it's my underdog. Don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate.
I'm overestimating them, and they're still not winning.
As much as it pains me to say they're not winning the division.
I think the Bills are going to take that win in week 2. They have one.
Alan, you just have them losing in week. You had the Dolphins losing in week 1 and 2 to the Patriots and Bills, but also have them winning the division.
No, I said before the schedule came out.
Okay.
Now looking at it, I'm like, there's no chance. I think
there's no chance. Yeah, there's no chance.
2 division games, 1 away, 1 at home against 2 very good defenses. Even with the losses that the Patriots had, the Bills actually gained some players. I just can't see them winning, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a rocky start. But week 3, they're not going too far from home because the Dolphins are going to travel up to Jacksonville and play jean shorts and the mustache guy, Gardner Minshew. Jagger, do you think that the Dolphins are going to win or lose to the Jaguars in week 3 away?
Yeah, this is their easiest game on the schedule. The Jaguars are not good. They still have quarterback issues. So I think that the Dolphins win this game, and I think it's going to be a pretty easy one, relatively easy one.
Zach, what about you?
What?
The Jaguars, week 3 away in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I think we can win that one. I'm going to say a win. I think that the Jaguars are like the Dolphins have been for the past 20 years. I think the Jaguars are in a little bit of an in-between phase. They have, strong elements, but right now I don't think they're really, as a whole, a great team. And I think especially if the Dolphins win in week 1 and week 2, they're definitely not losing against the Jaguars. If they win one of those 2 games, I think it's pretty strong, and I think that they have a very strong chance of winning. But it's still going to be a tough game because I still, even with coming out of this draft, I don't think the Dolphins are really that great of a team. But I think they could beat the Jaguars if they are well put together.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think going 0-2, going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is also a team that is rebuilding, but I just think the Dolphins have an advantage there. I don't really have to explain myself with that pick. I do think Jacksonville's good. Is going to lose to the Dolphins that week. So now week 4, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be going into Miami. The Dolphins are going right back home against Seattle. What do you think, Jagger?
Yeah, no, we lose this game. Our perfect season's over. Now we're going to be 3-1. Russell Wilson's too good and not too good. Our defense can't contain him, and I think he just dots us up.
Jack?
I'm going to agree with Jagger there. I think that's the game that I have them at 2-1, and then now definitely 2-2. They really, I mean, I think it's a possibility that they win, but it's very low. I think they're probably going to. I don't know if you remember, it was, I think, 2 years ago that everyone thought the Dolphins were going to do great, and then they got blown out by the Ravens. They thought it was a game that we thought – this was before Lamar Jackson. We thought that they were going to win, and then we lost 40-0. I think if this is going to be a game like that, I feel that there's going to be a lot of people confident that we have a chance, and then the Seahawks are going to blow us out because the Seahawks are – I have a feeling they're going to do really well this year. I mean, I've been watching Russell Wilson's posting everywhere. He's looking really good right now, and I think he is going to shred our defense. But I do think that we will be able to put up a better fight than we would have last year and still get destroyed.
I am going to I'm going to go for a little surprise pick here, and I'm going to say that the Dolphins are actually going to win this game at home versus Seattle. A couple of years ago, when we had,
you have them losing to the Patriots.
I have my reasons.
Okay.
I have my reasons. Right?
So you have them losing the first 3 games and then winning against Seattle?
I have them losing the last 2 games, beating Jacksonville, and then beating Seattle. My reason for beating Seattle is because a couple years ago, 2017, 2018 maybe, week 1, we had Ryan Tannehill, we had Kenny Stills. I forget who our other receiver was. Maybe we had Charles Clay that year. I don't know. But Kenyon Drake's rookie season, I think. We go up to Seattle week 1. We almost won that game. We lost on a very close touchdown because Ryan Tannehill overthrew Kenny Stills, and Kenny Stills could not make the catch in the end zone. We would have won the game. In Seattle, we always every time we've played Seattle, it is usually a very close game. For some reason, as a Dolphins fan, you know that whenever we play the Chargers, which we do on the schedule, you usually always win that game. When you play the Patriots at home, you usually almost win that game. And I think playing Seattle, for me, watching them my whole life, I just think that is a win. So right now, I have the Dolphins about 2-2 at week 4. But week 5, they're going to travel all the way across the country to San Francisco to play in California. Jagger, do you think the Dolphins are going to win or lose this game?
No, their defense.
Blown out again. Not even a chance.
The 49ers defense is way too good. I don't think the Dolphins
be able to score, and they're not going to be able to prevent
here.
the 49ers from scoring. Mahomes is going to poop on the Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of you. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to pull through week 5. Week 6, they're going to travel to Denver. They're going to play Drew Lock and the new and improved Denver Broncos. What do we think about week 6 there?
Through the first 3 weeks, Dolphins were looking really good based on my predictions. The following 3 weeks, the Dolphins don't look very good based on my predictions. I'm going with another loss here. I don't think the Dolphins offense can keep up with the Denver's offense with Drew Lock and new and improved Henry Ruggs. So I think that the Broncos win this game at home.
I'm going to go with a close loss. I'm gonna I said the Broncos win, but not by a lot. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be decided in the 4th quarter, but I have the Dolphins losing.
Yeah, I have the Dolphins losing as well. They added Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler to the offense. I think Drew Lock at the end of last season they showed some signs of the future. So I'm excited to see what actually Denver is going to do next year, and I have the Dolphins losing that game. Week 7, they play the Los Angeles Chargers. What do we think about Week 7 at home against the Chargers? Jagger, what do you think?
To me, this is kind of like the trap game where if we win this game, our season will be like vindicated, and if we lose this game, it's all gonna go to shit, and it's not gonna be worth it.
Zach?
I said we do win this game.
Barring the Chargers not bringing in another quarterback and sticking with Tyrod Taylor, I think the Dolphins win this game at home.
Zach?
I say the Dolphins win. And if they don't, that's going to look really bad. It will be an embarrassing loss if they do lose. But I think there's a very low chance of that happening. I think that the Chargers are even more weak and in transition than the Dolphins are. And I think that our defense should be able to easily control the Chargers. And I think that we should be able to score pretty well against them. I think that this should be a fairly easy game. Not a blowout, but an easy win at home to give us momentum into the next week.
Yeah, I like I said before, as a Dolphins fan, I've seen the Chargers get killed by the Dolphins almost every time we play them. A few years ago when I went to a Dolphins game, the Dolphins literally beat the Chargers like 37-0 or something. It happens every time for some reason. I don't see the Chargers winning this game. I have the Dolphins locking this one up. Next week, Week 8, they play the other LA team, the LA Rams, at home in Miami again. Who do you think is going to win that game, Jagger?
I think the Rams take it. I think the Dolphins season starts going downhill from here, and I think the Rams come in and beat the Dolphins at home.
Zach?
What's up?
Do you think that the Rams are going to win or
The
lose
Rams.
at home?
We're on what, week 6?
8.
7.
Good try.
11?
8.
8. Oh, wait. Where was it?
8. You calculating?
Are we really on week 8?
Yeah.
Did I miss one?
No?
No. Yeah, that's getting cut. That's getting cut.
No. Okay.
Zach, what
no,
do you think about the Rams coming to Miami?
I think it's going to be close. I think that this is going to be Jagger, you said that against the Chargers would be that game that kind of demonstrates where Miami kind of sits, but I think where their season kind of sits, but I think it's really more of this game, actually. It's in the middle of the season, and I think that the Rams could end up being not even with the Dolphins, but only slightly off. And I think they could end up being slightly worse or slightly better. I don't know yet, but I do think that the Dolphins could win this close or could lose this close. I think it's a toss-up. If they win, it's going to look great, and if not, then it's not going to look so great. If they come into this game with momentum, with good momentum, I think that they should be able to win without too much difficulty. But if they're coming off a loss, then I don't know. But they do have home field advantage, and the Rams are fine. So I think that they should be able to win, but it's not going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I think that at home 2 weeks in a row, I think after beating the Chargers, some momentum might be gained by the Dolphins. I see them winning this game at home against the Rams. The Rams have five out of their 8 first games are all away, and I think that might be a little bit of a struggle. They play Philly, they play the Bills, they play San Francisco all away, and then the Dolphins in Week 8. I have them losing against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to have that 2-week stretch right there. Week 9, they go back to the West Coast. They play the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray, with DeAndre Hopkins. Jagger, do you think they take a win or loss in Arizona?
Absolutely not. They get destroyed here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kyler Murray has his season. They just brought in DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think the Dolphins had any chance here.
Zach?
I'm going to disagree. I think that they could do terrible, but they could I think it's very possible that they could win. I think that Arizona is going to be a lot better than last year, a lot better. Kyler Murray's had his, his time to really be exposed to the league, and now he has DeAndre Hopkins. I think that that's going to be a really tough duo. But if the Dolphins are able, in my opinion, if they're able to shut down DeAndre Hopkins, keep Fitzgerald clamped at least decently, I think that then it'll be over for the Cardinals. With that being said, if they can't do that, if they're unable to shut down Kyler Murray and Fitzgerald and Hopkins, then they don't have a chance. I think it's going to all come down to if we're running zone, if we're running man, whichever one works, and then we may need to even do both, whichever one works, and if we can't find something that works to shut them down, then we're going to not just lose, but we're going to lose in an embarrassing fashion on the road, and they're just going to keep scoring until
Are you saying it's a win or a loss?
I'm gonna go with win because I think that we can shut them down.
Okay.
But if we don't, we're screwed.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose in Arizona. Jagger, a few weeks ago, we made some MVP picks for next season, and we actually said our biggest underdog MVP pick.
Kyler Murray, baby.
So I do think that
Kyler
we're
Murray.
gonna build a thing there with Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona next season. I have the Dolphins losing. Week 10 and Week 12, the Dolphins play the New York Jets. I skipped over 11 because that's our bye week. So Week 10 and 12, they play the New York Jets. I have them winning both games. I don't like Adam Gase. I think we're going to win. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. Jagger, what do you think?
I agree. I think we either win one or split. I don't think we lose both. If I had to choose now, I would say that we will probably win both.
Week 10 is at home and Week 12 is away.
Yeah, we'll probably win both those games.
I think we win at home and lose away. I think that coming out of our bye week, we will be able to win with ease. But I don't think that the Dolphins are really much better than the Jets. And I think that the Jets will be able to beat us in Week 12. Although I think Week 12 will be close and Week 10 will not. I think that that when we play them at home, we'll be able to win easily. But when we play them in New York and MetLife, I think that they're going to win a close one.
Okay. Week 13, this is the matchup I said at the beginning of the show. Dolphins are going to be playing the Cincinnati Bengals at home. If Tua's playing, I think I don't see the Bengals being a huge power next season. As much as Joe Burrow, as awesome as he is, I don't think the Bengals can beat the Dolphins at home. Jagger, what do you think?
Oh, dude, it hurts me to say this, but I think the Bengals come in and win. I think they get revenge for what happened last season. And, dude, I hate saying that, but I think that's what happened.
Zach, what do you think?
I see a close, high-scoring game. Not extremely high-scoring. I think that both teams will be in the 30s, and I think that the Bengals are going to just barely lose. I think that they are still – I mean – You see how the Browns, they had the first pick, they for, what was it, 15 years or something, they had the first pick, and they still weren't able to do anything. Just because you draft a great player, if you have a great draft, I don't think that means that immediately the next year you're good. I think it takes at least 2 years to actually become that big winning team. That being said, I do think that Joe Burrow has a lot of potential, and I think that the Bengals team has a lot of potential, and they're going to be able to make it close, especially against the Dolphins, which are, again, also just coming off of a bad season. I think that this game will really come down to coaching, and I think that the Dolphins just have a better coach, and I think that the Dolphins, for that reason, are going to win a close one.
Yeah, definitely. Week 14, I think I can already guess the prediction for this one. We play the Kansas City Chiefs at home, though. So a little home field.
Give me that W, baby.
It's not going to do anything, but I'm pretty sure this is a loss for all of us, right?
Give me that W, baby.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we're gonna get destroyed. We're getting destroyed this game. There's no chance.
Week 16.
Wait a second. I just realized something. I think earlier I said something about Mahomes destroying us, but in like for a different team. I think I said
49ers. You said for the 49ers.
Let's
You said for the 49ers.
clarifying my mistake.
It's okay. Week 16, 15, my bad. We play the Patriots at home. As a Dolphins fan, I know this is a game we win almost every year. Without Brady, with Jarrett Stidham, as good as Jarrett Stidham, as good as I think he will be, the Dolphins are going to take this win at home. Jagger?
Yes, and that means I'm saying that the Dolphins will go 2-0 against the Patriots this season. I think they win both games. I think at this point in the season we're even 7-7, and I think that our next stretch of games is not pretty.
Zach?
Oh, I think we definitely win this one, and I think that we don't just win this one. I think we take this W and we shove it down Belichick's throat. Okay, and you'll know I said Belichick, not Belichick. Don't worry about it. But I think that we are going to win this one, and we are going to have, and like Jagger said, 2-0 against the Patriots this year. I think that this is a year that is not going to look so great for the Patriots, especially when the Dolphins beat them twice. I think that we are going to put on a great show, and this is going to be where – I mean, I think that if Tua can really shine in this particular game against the Patriots, that's going to be huge for him and huge for the Dolphins, because I think in a lot of people's mind, if he can perform – and week 1 too – if he can perform against the Patriots, Dolphins fans are going to love that. I'm going to love that if he can do that. And for me, that vindicates the pick entirely if he's able to take a giant on the Patriots. So I'm really hoping that that's what's going to happen. And I think that is what's going to happen.
Week 16, the Dolphins play the Raiders away in Oakland. What do we think about that?
Yeah, this is a loss. This is a loss of a game. I think that this is where the Dolphins season starts to go downhill, and it starts with this game. I think John Gruden's new and revamped Raiders is just going to be too much with all the deep threats that they have and all the deep bombs they're going to be throwing. I don't think our safeties can handle it.
Zach, what do you think about the LA Raiders?
You muted me. Wow.
No, I didn't. You're unmuted.
Everything you have to repeat it all. I was yelling at you.
What do you think about the LA Raiders in Los Angeles? No, Las Vegas. Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders. What do you think about the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas against the Dolphins?
I know I've said this about pretty much every game, but I think this is another close one. But I think we win. I think that the Raiders are just and we are also just but I think that we're better than they are. I think that, I mean, I don't think that John Gruden's doing a bad job. He's gotten a lot of, hate. I don't really think he's doing that bad, but I do think that the Dolphins are still better and will be able to do better. And even though it's at home, this is their first year in a new home. So I don't think that I don't really think that it really even will be that much of a home game yet. I mean, I know it will have already been, pretty, the whole season, but I still think that it won't have quite the home field advantage that they would have had in LA. And I think that the Dolphins will be on some momentum, and they will be able to win it maybe below 20s in points, but I think that they'll be able to win by maybe like a field goal.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to take a win in Vegas too. Week 17, last week of the season, this could actually be an important game for the Dolphins, maybe to get in the playoffs as a wild card now that they're expanding the playoffs to 7 teams. But I think this is an important game at Buffalo in late to mid-January in the cold. Usually in a situation like that, against
destroyed.
I think I just can't see them winning. I picked them to beat the Jets in week 12 in New York. That could also be a cold weather game. But I have them winning there. I don't see them winning in Buffalo.
35-3. They're
even
not
though
winning.
even though they play in the same arena, but still.
No chance. There's no chance. The Dolphins are going to get smashed. In the snow, too. Like, come on, dude.
The Bills are already a much better team, and especially when it's not like Tua was playing at a college in the cold. He was playing in Alabama. So he is also not a cold weather guy. The Dolphins are going to be playing most of the year in warm weather to a degree. I don't think that they even have a chance, especially if it's a cold day. If it's a cold day, they may as well not even go out there, honestly. I mean, an especially cold day, if it's like really snowing or it's really icy, I mean, I don't think I don't think that they even have an underdog chance in this one. I think it's a blowout.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they're going to take a loss there. So I appreciate both of you telling us your predictions for the Dolphins next season. As for while Zach is putting this up, this water polo guy.
Cam Newton, you idiot.
I know. I just saw that. I just saw it. Yeah, Cam Newton. I appreciate
it's
you
a
guys.
women's ball. They gave him a women's ball, so he looks better.
And we will see you soon. This has been Make Your Point.
Goodbye.
Apologies to our dear friend Shaquille O'Neal. Sorry we couldn't get you on the show this time, man, but we will try next week.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.
And remember the golden rule.